gals, welcome to this week's Pre-Foreclosure Tip of the Week. Chris the Drummer Bowles, Bob LaChance coming back to you again, PreforeclosureDailyGrind.com. So anyway, Chris is going on vacation today. First vacation all year. We never let him. Yeah. We don't let him away from that phone over there. But anyway, if any of you are wondering, I got a suit on today. I dressed up because Chris is going away. That's why.
Celebrating.
Celebrating. That's why. Now, anyway, the reason why I have this suit on is I just did a presentation with a local mortgage company, really good mortgage company, First World Mortgage, very, very good, and put it on. I think there was about 40 real estate agents. And for all your real estate agents that were there, thank you very much for coming, because a lot of you are going to be watching this video. It was a great time. Had a pleasure doing it. The takeaway on doing presentations, here's a good one. If you want to increase your business, you have to step out of your box. I know we touched upon this before, but I was not doing this 3 years ago. I was scared to do this 3 years ago. Now I'm speaking on stage and doing live conferences or seminars just like this, or presentations to bring in business. Okay. Again, we do a lot of business on the retail side and the processing side, and on the investment side, but we do a lot of business. That's how we drive in business for our company. So pretty cool. Anyway, this week's tip of the week, we have a couple tips a week. That was one tip. Next tip, it's a good day in our office. 1 and 2 closings today. Good stuff. Chris, let's go over one of the closings that we closed with Bank of America, start to finish. How long did it take?
Only about 3 months.
3 months. 3 months. And the reason why it took 3 months is we had the approval within about a month and a half. It took the seller another month and a half to get their financing together, or buyer to get their financing together and close. That's pretty cool.
Last minute they wanted to change the name on the approval letter as well. It was the same buyer. They just wanted to change it from a individual name to an LLC, to purchase under an LLC. So
and how did that work out?
That was fine. Just another week and a half.
That's a heck of a tip right there, Chris. I almost forgot that tip. So if you want to change buyers, but you're still owning the entity within Bank of America, you could do that. That's killer.
They'll just want proof that that person's part of the LLC. So.
And this is for my buddy Rich Steffen. He's definitely gonna have a comment on this one.
Yeah.
We love Rich. But anyway, Chris, let's talk about the other tips here.
All right, second one here. We had 2 mortgages on this. They both originally were with GMAC. All right, second mortgage though, we had, and a few months ago we had a group of files where we had I don't know, probably 3 or 4 that same thing. 2 mortgages with GMAC. And all of them at the same time, because they were sold in a package.
GMAC sold a big package of their second mortgage portfolios to other lenders, and this one was?
This one was SLS. Yep.
Okay.
So basically, got over there, continued working on the first mortgage with GMAC. As soon as the loan and paperwork and all the whole shebang was on file and uploaded into SLS's system, made contact with them, sent over the package, and just like with both.
So first challenge was when they actually sold that bulk loans. We had to track down who bought that bulk portfolio. So we had to talk to the seller, and the seller had to look at their mail. I think we did a video on this also. Had to check their mail and see exactly who they bought it from, or who bought it. So that's tip number 1. You have to work with your seller there.
Yep. So and then once they got it, made contact with both, and this was another one that kind of like the previous one there. Went pretty quickly, got written approval, actually about mid-February. So again, this one start to finish, we started on this one early December, closed today. However, again, about roughly half of that time was waiting for the buyer to close.
So we got fairly quick approval. So GMAC gave us an approval within a month and a half?
Yeah, roughly
what was it?
2 months.
Within 2 months. That's pretty cool, though. Now you know when you're talking to your clients, you can set proper expectations that GMAC typically takes around 2 months.
Right.
Okay? For you to get an approval. That's pretty cool.
Now, actually, Bob, just one other thing, because the last couple of weeks of dealing with these guys, they just recently acquired. GMAC's got a couple offices in Iowa and Texas, which you guys may know, but if not, you do now. And they also have an office in Pennsylvania. And one thing I actually just learned, I realized I didn't tell you this, but one thing I just learned this week.
Keeping stuff for me.
Yeah. One thing I just learned this week, a few days ago, was the fact that a lot of, thousands of files from their Pennsylvania office just went down to Texas. So if you guys have files with GMAC that are in Texas that are being worked on in Texas, just be a little bit patient as they kind of get settled in down there with all those extra files. So
okay, cool. That's
another
a good
thing. Just little jab,
and that's today. So make sure you look at the date of this video. So in 4 months, if you're watching this video, you don't go back, hey, the hell are you guys talking about?
Right.
Because we get that once in a while, because these are up-to-date videos that we do.
Right.
Okay, so let's go on with the story.
So back to it, yeah. I mean, with this one, as I said, got approval initially in mid-February. We were working through it. I had to, in March, towards the end of March, I had to get extensions, which I did from each lender.
How did you do that?
Basically, I just explained the scenario. The buyer was doing their appraisal, and when they went to when the appraiser went to generate the report, the value was not quite.
It didn't appraise
not
out.
quite there. The comps were not quite there, so it would appraise out. So basically, they said, we want to wait. There's a closing that's supposed to happen in roughly a week or two. We'll wait for that closing to happen so that it will appraise out.
So they needed that comp for our property to appraise.
Right.
So pretty cool. So that, all right, number one, challenges. Number one, our second mortgage was sold. Number two, the property didn't quite appraise. Luckily, we were working with a end buyer's lender that was willing, an appraiser, was willing to wait the extra couple weeks to get the proper comp that we needed for this thing to comp out.
Right.
And our final one, Chris, the final challenge we dealt with had to do with an attorney.
Yeah, well, actually, it was the buyer's lender. The buyer's lender was.
But their attorney, correct?
Well, through the attorney too. The
Yeah.
attorney was, supporting this, but they basically their issue had to do with the fact that the seller was to pay off a judgment lien. This lien that surfaced probably about a week and a half before the closing. The seller was willing and able to, pay this off. And the buyer's lender / attorney that had an issue with that.
Attorney that was representing the buyer's lender.
They basically wanted the GMAC to be made aware and issue something in writing, stating that they were aware that the seller was paying off this judgment lien. Which if you guys have read anything out there or caught any of the news as far as like or you're obviously aware that first mortgages, being ahead of anything else. Need to be made aware of whatever's going on with the junior liens. That's definitely true when you're talking about the buyer's funds. Okay, if we were talking about some of the buyer's funds that they were bringing to the table, were going towards this junior lien. Of course, we'd want GMAC.
Then we put it on the HUD, on the buyer's side of the HUD,
course.
and ask GMAC for their acceptance and their approval. However, this attorney for his lender, for the end buyer's lender, was basically saying, all right, you bought a Happy Meal, and you paid for that Happy Meal. GMAC, I want you to sign off on my client buying that Happy Meal. That's how ridiculous it was.
Pretty absurd.
But anyway, they figured out how ridiculous they were, and they closed today. So anyway, what we did to overcome it, Chris had to explain it to him very calmly, which Chris obviously has a demeanor like that. I'd be snapping. But Chris is actually really good at that. So he explained it, and finally they came to their senses and got it closed. So anyway, that was filled again with some unbelievable tips, dude. And Chris is going away. Anyway, our ManageMyShortSale.com is now being switched over to PropTracker.com. That's PropTracker.com. It's filled with everything. Repair estimators, deal analyzers. We're setting up an LPS comp service, automatic email notification, HUD creator, everything. Go try it out. You could try this out for a 14-day free trial. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
But anyway, Chris, the drummer Bose, Bob LaChance, getting back to you with this week's pre-foreclosure tip of the week. See you guys next week.